and welcome to NatFun, the live-recorded tabletop role-playing adventure game where the dice and a few friends tell the story. My name's Jackie, and I will be your game master this episode. And I'm, of course, joined by a few undead, still-wrapped friends.
I'm Matt, and I'll be playing Almond Hut. Just Almond for short.
I'm Dan, and I'll be playing M-House, or M-House. Oh god, I'm already screwing it up. Off to a great start.
'Tis life. Now, today we are playing Bandageless, a breathless game jam from Gwanin. And to tell you a little bit more about it, here's Jackie. Bandageless is a breathless game jam by Gwanin, and it is chock full of roll tables to get both your mummy and museum design started quickly, letting you jump right into the action. You can find it and their other works at Gwanin, that's GWANNON.itch.io/bandageless-breathless, or on their website, gwanin.com. Now, being a game jam, it is built upon the core mechanics of the Breathless game by Pharaohs RPGs, which is a survival horror game where the players try to stay alive in a walled city full of zombies. You can find it at breathless.pharaohsrpg.com. And we'll have links to all of these available in the show notes. All right, let's get ready to unwrap some NatFun. Now, this game system is similar in some ways to the other Breathless game jam we played in our first two episodes of NatFun, Prehistoric Portals. Whenever the player mummies use their skills by rolling dice, they degrade and decrease in value. A 10-sided D10 dice becomes a D8, and so on and so forth, each time they get used. And whenever they make a check, if they roll a result of 5 or higher, it's a success. A 3 or a 4, they succeed, but at a cost. And on a 1 or 2, they fail, and something bad happens.
Plan on that.
We've done this before. It will be important for the mummies to loot the rooms they go through to get useful tools to escape the museum, and to be aware of their surroundings and find a quiet space when needed to reset their bandages and reset their dice skill values. And unlike other Breathless systems, there will be no map. I will instead be utilizing the built-in roll tables and progress clocks to determine what the player's mummies see next and how far they've progressed through the museum towards their grand escape. Now, who is ready to open their sarcophagus and step into some NatFun?
Yeah. Apparently got a zombie over there.
So, to set the scene, the Museum of NatFun for All History has been a staple in the neighborhood of All's Towns for hundreds of years. And some of its rare exhibits were far, far older than that. Within these walls are artifacts from across history. Some even claim there are doomed items of rare, unnatural power within some of the displays. And although rumors run wild in museums, its exhibits don't. Until now. Recently, a new exhibit has arrived at the museum. And although it isn't fully open yet to the public, they can't wait to lay their eyes on the ancient mummies it contains. Matt and Dan, can you please introduce your characters?
Yeah. My mummy is Amenhotep the First from the 12th dynasty, and he worships the god Jeb. And he's, kind of an athletic build, good suntan, maybe a little goatee, typical stuff. He carries a curved wooden stick with him. That's his lucky bro stick. And he's looking to, have a good time. And shake off his parents' shackles and all the guidance they gave him. He wants to do it his own way.
He can go his own way.
Well, I am playing M-House the First, loosely based off the real, I guess, Egyptian pharaoh M-House the First. It was from the 18th dynasty. He was buried with a ceremonial axe, so I assume that is the item I will be walking out of the sarcophagus with. He was around 5'4", with predominant front teeth, a strong chest and neck, although I'm going to guess I've atrophied over time. And had some thick, wavy hair that hopefully is still as thick and wavy as ever.
Nice. Now, the premise of this game is that you have been dead, embalmed within a sarcophagus for hundreds, thousands of years. And yet, for some reason, this night, in this museum, you awaken. And your goal is to escape this tomb, step into the light, and regain your place outside of the museum.
Start small, build from there.
So let me move you guys.
Oh god, it's a clock.
Yes. So one cool thing about this game is there's no map. There's no museum map for you to look at to find the closest window or the closest exit. Instead, it utilizes progress clocks, so you can tell as you're making forward progress, but it doesn't limit us to a map, and it's a lot easier than me having to make a bunch of maps. So, this is a pretty big clock. This is a 12-segment clock that you have. So you have to progress through the museum. Now, depending on the rooms that you go through, some might progress more than others, but this is essentially how close you are to freedom. And it is simply titled, Echoes in the Halls, ... I will let you know if other progress clocks come into play, depending on where you go and what you do. You guys are so nervous already.
I know.
I don't need this kind of pressure.
But I'd like to give you guys the floor a little bit, kind of like we did in Prehistoric Portals, where you guys described a lot of the things that you were seeing. I will give you some initial notes on new rooms that you approach, because I pre-rolled a few for tonight, or for this episode. But I would like to hear your description of this Egyptian mummy room in the museum that is not fully completed yet. So let's hear how you get out of your sarcophagus and what you see.
Well, maybe M-House. No. M-House. M-House.
M-House.
Yeah. I think we're just going to stick to M-House because it's just what I keep saying. So M-House. I guess he first, eyes open. It's all blurry in here. Kind of just hazy. It's dark. He's in an upright, kind of leaning stand position, and I guess what kind of jarred him awake was like the sound of the sarcophagus front, like just falling open, so that big bang of it. So it kind of starts awake and feels like suddenly, like you've woken up and just taken a quick breath, and then dazed and kind of confused about where I'm at. This isn't what I last remember. And then as you're looking around this kind of dark room, I could see all sorts of artifacts and things that some that look very similar to what I would have seen before, but many I don't recognize. And why are all these objects around me? Seems to be all sorts of different statues and just even like small little like pieces of or broken pieces of like art and what would have been carvings and things like that, just kind of scattered about and in these clear boxes and things I haven't seen before. So I'm really just kind of dazed and confused right out of the gate.
All right, now, Amen, after you hear this loud thud, how do you awaken from your sarcophagus, and what do you see?
Oh, and I'm thinking we're being presented kind of almost getting ready to be set up in a kind of a display, and I'm thinking the lid slid off his and actually bumped mine, so my lid kind of slides out of the way. I've been unconscious in here for a minute, but now that there's light, I'm thinking, oh, what's going on? And then I do the kind of the little look around, but I'm kind of a boisterous, don't think kind of guy, so I'm just gonna kind of step on out and just start looking around, and then realize I'm like fully embalmed and wrapped up, and I don't quite have the limber, youthful nature that I'm used to. And I'm gonna look around and see some of those artifacts, and like, this isn't my stuff. Whoa. And I'm gonna look around a little bit, and like, dude, who are you?
I'm M-House, who are you?
Emohet. The first.
Oh. The Amohet the First?
The only one, buddy. The only one.
I don't know what I done to deserve this, but we ended up at the same location. That is quite fortunate.
Well, fortunate's kind of my thing.
I came centuries behind you. I've heard stories about you and great things you managed to achieve. It was inspirational.
Righteous stories, I hope.
All of them. I don't know what we're doing here. None of this stuff is mine. Is this all your stuff?
No, none of this is cool enough to be my stuff. Except this. And he raises up his big curved stick. That's you'd probably know from it is like a hockey type sport. This is where I ruled.
And M has to look around and he'll see his ceremonial act. He's like, well, I've got this thing. It's not sharp, but it's heavy.
Where's our entourage? I mean, it's awfully quiet in here for how great we are.
And as you look around the space, you see a lot of the sculptures and even things that look like they're going to be put up on the wall are covered in white sheets, kind of half on, half off. You see that there are some very small jars that have, kind of cat faces on the top so that they are kitty cat mummies. You see some other sculptures. You see what look like weapons kind of mounted on some hooks on the wall. But as you get a little bit closer, actually, I won't even tell you unless you guys choose to check it out. And you do see, partially obscured by a sheet, this really large piece of art that shows a couple of mummies. And it shows their sarcophagi open. And the mummies almost walking like down a level on the stonework in front of the sarcophagi. And there's something dark just sticking out of what that white sheet is covering. And as you notice that, you hear a sound outside. Boom, boom. The museum is closing in 5 minutes. The museum will be closed in 5 minutes. Boom, boom.
Huh. Is that your god? I know it ain't my god, because bro don't sound like that.
I don't think so. I don't believe a voice has ever sounded like that. It's perhaps a new god.
Maybe. Oh. Well, yeah, that'd be good. Do you understand this art? I never got into this modern art that they've got here.
No, the drawings are exquisite. I don't know where they got such pigments. Such steady hands create such work.
Yeah, it's all a little too stiff.
So Amhouse would like to go touch the sheet, and he wants to feel it with his hands.
Okay, you're able to go up and you touch the sheet, and it feels so soft and smooth compared to the clothing that you were used to in your reign. It's just a thin white cotton sheet, and as you touch it, it kind of sags a little bit and falls off a little bit, and you see what look like human male forms dressed and with gold-embellished collars, a pair of jackals leaping out of the depths in this picture towards the mummies. That's what they're running from.
Whoa, dude.
I don't know what this means, but this fabric is amazing.
And I will say, you do recognize that jackals are oftentimes sent to recover souls to the underworld.
All right, I think I know what this means.
Hold on, I want to touch that cloth, and then we'll talk about it.
You gotta feel it. This is softer than anything I've ever felt before.
Wow. We should be making our stuff out of this.
The jackals. Why are they retrieving those 2 souls?
Well, okay, let me think back here. We were mummies. We went to the afterlife. Now we're here. The jackals take things back. Uh-oh. Well, the afterlife was pretty lame. I mean, I hung out with Jeb. And if you ever heard a really, really bad accent, dude's got it. So, I think we gotta get out of here, or we're going back.
I feel like we're sent here as punishment. It's all familiar, but also confusing.
Well, we're Pharaohs. We should, take over. Do it again. Do it better. Who could be greater than me?
Sorry.
We could start a new dynasty.
Yeah.
The 2A dynasty.
2A.
Oh, I really wish faces could translate on an audio podcast.
2A. That's pretty cool. Broed up. Well, let's see who's in charge.
Bing bong. The museum is now closed. The museum is now closed. Bing bong.
The door's open over there.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I got my stick. You got your axe. Got our awesomeness. Should we take this cool cloth with us?
It is quite nice. Folded up.
Yeah. Cool.
What about the weapons on that wall?
I will say, if you want to take the cloth, as you try to grab it, it seems to be a little bit stuck.
Ooh. Alright. Well, let me get this.
Sounds like amen for hold my beer, bro.
Hold my stick, buddy. Alright, so I'm gonna bash it. I'm gonna pull this thing right good, which is a D8 for now. Oh, that's an 8.
Nice. You are able to pull that fabric. It wafts up, falls down silently. No problem.
You are in the presence of greatness, buddy.
No doubt about that. I didn't even hear it move.
She's too scared. Like one of my opponents on the field.
Oh, what about those weapons over there? Let's go check those out.
Alright.
So, yeah. M-House will wander over and try to make sense of what's here.
Sounds like you're gonna think about something.
Yeah. Let's do a think. That's a D10 for a 4. Oh, what a waste of it.
Oh, no, buddy.
I will let the 8 carry over a bit because that was pretty good. I didn't get to add any extra sauce good stuff with that before you responded. So I'll let that carry over. And you walk up to the weapons and you see one that looks like the actual war weapon, the true melee weapon of your ceremonial axe. And when you go to pick it up, it is so lightweight that you almost drop, like you grab it and your arm shoots into the air and you lose your grip, and Amen is right behind you to catch it. It's so lightweight. This is not crafted for war. This is crafted to be a piece of sculpture, and even that, it's silly.
What kind of weapon is this? Garbage.
Weapon for ants.
I'd have whoever made this executed.
Absolutely.
And their families.
Man, you're harsh. Do you hang out with my dad?
Nope.
And you start to hear a very faint echo in the distance that sounds like a very heavy footstep on stone. with a slight metallic sound, kind of jingling between every couple steps.
Sounds like armor coming. Maybe there's one of our servants coming to get us?
I don't recognize any of this place. I think we should find maybe a safe spot and see if we can see who this is.
Be strategic.
I'm not in the best fighting shape right now. I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, I'm always good, but, let's set up a defensive line and be prepared for the game we're playing.
Amos is going to go basically shuffle behind his sarcophagus and stand up on the wall. He's going to hide behind it. He doesn't be standing in it, pretending to be there. He wants to kind of be out of sight.
Amen is going to actually just chill back in his sarcophagus and just cross his arms and look chill for a minute and see what happens.
The footsteps get closer and louder, and you see the silhouette of a form. Seems like the human form of a man, but the top of the head is kind of boxy for some reason, and they reach down to their belt, turn, and you hear a click, and then a bright light shines into the room. Now, it's not at the sarcophagi yet. It's starting on the other side. And as it's sweeping, you hear this gravelly rattling sound, and then you hear, "Good day, my name's Melanie. I am a new guard reporting for duty. I need someone to get my keys and uniform. Can someone help me with that, please?" The light clicks off right before the beam hits the edge of Amhouse's sarcophagus. I hate it when we get these substitute guards. People just want to go out and party. And they grumble, and stomp away.
So Amos will come step out and look around Amen and say, "Did you see how fat that guy was? I've never seen someone so big.
No. What do
He
they
must be
feed that
royalty."
True, but they said he was a guard. And there's more of them, and I don't think there are guards.
Well, I thought Melanie was the name of a new god. Did you? Maybe my hearing's off.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of things talk, like with no bodies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gods have no bodies, so that...
True.
A lot's happened.
But then they turn into things, and then they try to eat your soul, and it's, craziness.
And Amen, as you're talking, you're kind of getting a little more comfortable. You're talking like a little bit with your hands, and you're holding that curved stick, and it kind of bumps into something, and you hear music start to play, and a voice come over, kind of like describing a story, and it's getting louder and louder and louder. Amen was a ruthless pharaoh in his time, forced into royalty from his family.
Yeah.
It's getting louder and louder.
Dude. Okay, this is very oppressive, and I feel triggered. I want to get out of here.
I don't like all the voices here.
No.
That's it.
No.
Is there more than
Nope.
one door in this room, GM? Or
Yeah.
there's just all right. Well, where do we
Okay.
need to look around to know where the doors are or openings are?
I want to pick a door that dude didn't go out.
This is the cool part about the progress clocks. You can just say, we go to the door and we peek in. In this game, you can look and kind of see what's in the room and decide if you want to venture into it or not based on that brief description. I pre-rolled from the roll tables, so I've got a little list to go off of. But narratively, there could be one door, 4 archways. Who knows? So where do you want to go?
Away from the man walking down the hallway with the voice coming
Yeah.
from his pocket.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, let's do
The
that.
other back side of the room there, looking for, I guess, another dark opening into another dark room. Or is it dimly lit?
Dimly lit. I almost called it a library. The museum did just close, but it's definitely, we would know, your mummies would not. Usually you have to sweep a museum to make sure everyone's actually left. Some people just get distracted. Some people try and, hang along. Some people have a bathroom emergency and are stuck where they are. So there is lighting throughout the museum, but it is dimly lit. And as you walk up to the large archway, I mean, this is as big as some of the archways in your palace, you see some ornate but unimpressive stonework. You can see across this room, which isn't huge compared to, your own royal palace, but there's these really big white columns on the other side holding up this large horizontal piece of a solid but lightly colored earthen material. But you can see, even from where you are, that the columns are tarnished with carved grooves around their circumference. A flat-edged construction, those of an obelisk, is far superior. But there are some interesting glyphs or sculpture details around the upper portions of what looks like maybe a small temple or worship house. And you also notice a lot of silhouettes of sculptured figures with large noses and no arms.
Check out these statues, and this is, I don't know, much more accurately. And we've progressed greatly. If this is what people are making now, I'd like to go up and touch one of these statues and see what it feels like.
You step into the room, you walk up, and you put your hand. Now, how much of you is still wrapped? Like, do you have super dry mummy skin sticking through the bandages, or are you still completely toilet paper wrapped like a Halloween costume?
I want to say quite well wrapped. My fingers maybe sticking through, and some bits and pieces hanging off the arms where you can see some exposed skin.
You reach up and you touch this stone, and it feels cool. Very, very cold to the touch. Not at all like the stone that you're used to from Egypt, which not only is much rougher, but also would have been in the sun. This isn't an air-conditioned building. And you and I would know this is marble.
I must say, my God, it's so cold and so smooth. Everything here just is so pleasing to touch.
No sand. That's pretty skiller.
Emma House, can you roll a d4 for me, please?
Rolls a 3.
All right, you hear some mumbling off in the back corner. You can't see where they are from where you're standing, so this is a very large sculpture that you're standing next to. But you hear some voices of older people. They're a little bit gravelly, and they're talking about, now, when you tell the kids about this room, you need to tell them how interesting it was when this structure almost exploded. I don't know if that's true. No, listen. So they thought it was a good idea to store all the gunpowder munitions inside the Parthenon. During a war, we almost lost the whole thing. Oh my, that's absolutely fascinating. Yeah, it's a big hit.
Yeah, Mouse will turn to Amon and be like, there's more voices.
Subjects?
I don't know. They're talking
Gods?
about things I haven't heard of before. None of it makes sense. You should try a different room.
Okay. Let's go the other direction, away from this and that other person, and I just want to, check this out. But
Mouse might go across the room to the left, just the shortest direction across to the next room, seeing if he can get to another more secure
How
spot.
would you be getting to that room, having heard these voices?
Just straight across, shuffling as quickly as I can.
Shuffle.
Would you like a sneak? We could go with a sneak, but it's a 4 to begin with.
So, can I help with that sneak?
I would say if you're going to try and move unnoticed, because you haven't been observed yet in this space, I'm just going to do kind of like we do the fortune rolls in other games that we've played. I just want to go with a d6.
All right. That's a 5.
That's great. That's a success.
All right.
So you are able to just gingerly walk to the arched doorway nearby. And I will even say you, Amen, are able to follow in his mummified footsteps.
I know how to ride coattails.
All right. Roll a d6.
I know I said I know how to ride coattails, but all right.
Never mind. I thought you said I don't ride coattails.
No. I know how to ride coattails. But let's
right.
roll the d6 and see what happens.
No worries. It's okay. We'll save it. But because you guys did progress through this room, I am going to give you a tick on your clock.
Ooh.
So you have 1 of 12 rooms have been traversed. So in this room, you look in, and this room is actually very divided. There is this almost clear wall that goes almost all the way across the middle of the room. Like there's this clear box that takes up a good third of the space with kind of a platform inside, and there's some silhouettes moving in there. The room itself is actually fairly dark, but that room in the clear walled box, you can look up and you can see the sky. And you can see the sun as it's starting to set. Within that clear room, that clear box, you can see that there are some tables made of a strange material that almost is reflective, but it looks very strong. And on it you see small little picks and hooks and metal stands and paint brushes and lots of regular shaped pieces of papyrus that have a different texture than you've ever seen before, with scribbled tiny notes on it. And it's really, you can't even understand what it is. It's just lines scribbled in a squiggly line. How could anyone read that? And if I can have Amen roll a d4 for me, please.
That would be a 2, bro.
All right, broski. You can see 3 silhouettes moving within that room. 2 look to be very diligently looking and working at what's on their desk, and 1 seems to be standing. And you can kind of hear a muffled voice, but again, it's behind this solid wall. And both of you sense something of great power within this room. And I mentioned the room is divided, so that is one half. There's even some benches and like a little railing around that box. The other half is pretty much just an open hallway with a bench and a potted plant, and you can see an open archway on the other side.
If we feel the power, I think Amen is gonna take a look around and see if he can figure out what's like drawing his attention. I mean, he knows these little hooks and stuff. I'm assuming he recognizes them from like the whole process of being made what he is.
Absolutely.
But so let's see, would that be a think roll?
Yeah, you're trying to sense specifically where it's coming from?
Yeah. Yo, dude, watch this. Let's see if we can get some cool stuff. Nope. that was a 1 on my D10.
All right, so what do you do to try and sense the directionality of this power?
I think he has no understanding of glass. I think he goes up and like literally smacks against it as he's looking. Oh! What the? And then bangs on it a few times, not thinking about the consequences.
And as you slam into that glass,
dude,
it is loud. It's like a boom. inside the room, and you watch as all three of those silhouettes stand up and look at you. And one of them was holding this stone glassware with this kind of looped handle. They drop it. It shatters in a dark brown liquid across the floor.
Dude, I think that was my kidney.
And as you go, they all freak out. And one of them, the one that dropped the stoneware glass, just starts shaking their arms, but they can't seem to move, and their eyes get wider and wider and wider. Another one tries to grab them and pull them away, and the third one just starts running. And they kind of reach up and they grab like this weird stick with this squiggly string attached to it on this big black box that's mounted to the wall, and they grab it and they start hitting little buttons on it. And that's when the other two kind of snap out of it and start to run, and before they can say anything, they just drop it and it kind of clatters against the wall and they run out of the room. And I will now be adding an additional progress clock to you guys that is simply titled The Terrified Cries of Your Enemies.
I like that one.
Terrified, yeah.
And because you rolled a nat 1, this 6-sided clock is going to progress by 2.
And I was looking at him and say, that was amazing how you scared them off. They're truly terrified. Your reputation precedes you here.
It was my goal technique. Be bigger than the enemy.
Nice. Well, what were you trying to look at?
There was something in the box that, like, I think is gonna help us, like, be, like, more, like, in tune with, like, the situation.
I can help with
This
that.
vibe.
So Amhas gonna raise his weapon up, his ceremonial axe, and smash this glass container.
Ooh, do it, do it.
Is that with the 12? Because it's your... Or 10 with your
It's
thing?
a 10.
Yeah.
It's a 3. God.
Oh!
All right,
This box is made of clear stone. It's terrible.
Well, but with a 3, you do succeed, but at a cost. So you do slam into that glass pane with your ceremonial axe. It does break it, but in doing so, your arms go through that opening, and your arm gets a big gash on it, and you take 1 point of degradation.
Dude, your arm's leaking dust.
Little pile of mummy sand on the floor.
Oh. He'll pull out his arm and he'll look at the glass shard through it and he'll pull it out. And he's going to comment, We actually made something similar to this in my time, but it was much more crude, but just as sharp. He's going to hang on to this glass shard.
Nice. Since I've already failed at this, but now that the glass box is open, can I, take a better look in here?
Sure. And I'll say the glass shard that you picked up, even though you didn't loot the room, I'll say you can keep it as an item. It'll be a D6.
I was going to ask about that. D6.
Oh, actually, in GM, that was the other thing is on the sheet. I know there's supposed to be a value to that. I didn't know if that was a 6 or an 8 or what. Those degrade if they're
cloth
used.
sheet.
Took at the beginning.
Yes. Because you rolled so well, we'll have that one start at a D8.
Cool.
Actually, we didn't have you do a loot check roll for it. Let's do that.
Okay. Buddy.
And I will
that's
say,
it.
if you roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4, you'll just get to re-roll. This is just to determine
Okay.
if it's a 6, 8, or 10 item.
Okay. The loot check is a
12.
D12. Thank you.
And you guys should have a table in your journal.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Yeah. That is a 6, buddy.
All right, so it is a D6 cloth. Thank you for catching that.
Yeah. Meant to say it earlier, but I didn't want to stop the vibe.
All right. So you want to try and find this item again now that there's a clearer opening and path?
Yeah. So I think that's still a think, and I've reduced my opportunities. So yeah, D8.
Yep.
That's a 4.
Okay. You succeed, but at a cost. So
Yep.
you look around and you see sitting on that table that they have been working on and kind of hunkered down around a book that seems to be bound with skin.
Ooh.
But you hear those same heavy footsteps you did before, but they're running this time. And it sounds like there's more than one person.
Okay. I'm gonna look at almost go, dude, grab the rock. We gotta get out of here. Somebody coming.
The rock? What rock?
The book. Like it's a ball, man. You ever play a sport?
All right. Amhouse will grab the book.
All right, you step up there, you grab the book, and those footsteps are coming louder and louder and louder.
Run across the room.
Yeah, run.
Run. So there's gonna be
All
dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So straight across.
Yeah.
You said the other side was like an open hallway, that direction. All right.
And I know you guys are both bad with dash. We've done quite a few rolls in this room, so I will even grant you essentially advantage. I'll let you both roll, and we'll take the higher of the two rolls.
It's gonna be terrible. All right.
So I think you both have a D4 for this, right?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
3, buddy.
And a 3.
All right. You both are able to dash out of the room. You make it just around the corner into the other space as you hear those footsteps getting louder and louder and louder. But as you were running, let's see, who wants to be odd, who wants to be even?
I'll be odd.
All right, I'll be even.
All right. Even. Your piece of glass shard that you had that in your other hand, and just as you ran around the corner, your fist kind of bumped into the wall, and a little piece of it broke off. So it goes down by 1 dice value.
Man.
It would have been the cloth getting caught on the window otherwise.
Fair enough.
Pharaoh enough?
Do I still have the book though?
Yeah, you have the book.
Okay, I've got the book.
All right, so I will add one more room progress. You now have 2 out of your 12 of your progress clock.
Dude, that book looks legit.
And for funsies, I will have you roll with no consequences and no lowering of your dice, a think check to see how much you glean from looking at this book.
Which one of us?
Amhouse.
Amhouse rolls a 7.
Nice.
Muscle 8, so not bad.
So you look at this, and even though it's not from your time, you had heard mystics talking about it. And this is an ancient tome in a dead language bound with human skin.
Classic.
And you've heard stories that books such as this allow you to raise zombies from the remains of any animal
Righteous.
that can aid you in your path. So essentially, mechanics-wise, that means that each zombie can make a d6 roll to help you. But every time you use this item, it does go down in value. But this is a doomed item, which you can only have one of.
Right. So what's it start out in value here for D6 or no?
Higher than a d6. Let me grab my note. I was just looking for it.
I was looking too.
Start at a d10.
D10.
They
Nice.
degrade
Oh,
each use to a d4 and then lose their magical abilities. As you round the corner, your hand hurts a little bit, but you didn't take any more damage personally. You take a quick look at this book, and it reminds you of things that your mystics had told you about. And as you're looking at that, Amen, you are running fairly quickly, and you actually gut check yourself on a railing made of stone. And you look out to this giant hall. You are on the second floor, and this room is massive, at least 10 times the size of the room that you were just in. You can see doors along both sides of these elevated pathways. You can see a huge area down below. It's wide and open. It has some benches and potted plants lining these kind of central spaces that almost look like they're on little pedestals. You can see deep colored cloth curtains strung along the sides of the walls and even hanging off the balcony you're standing on. Each is a beautiful tapestry outlining different things and having arrows and maybe designations. You see skeletons of large reptilian beings nearly as big as the gods themselves. And suspended from the ceiling are bones of some winged creatures with elongated beaks and a small crest on the back of their head. Their wingspan alone is nearly as wide as you are tall.
Buddy.
And you can hear the sound of voices echoing. Deep voices, soft voices, and the voices of children playing.
Why would a palace have all these people?
You can see across the way, on the lower floor, a pile of brightly colored rolled blankets, next to a larger pile of sacks with various straps and items clipped to them.
Buddy. What do you think?
This room is magnificent.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think this is some sort of palace to the gods. Look at all these creatures. Look at all the art we've come across. Look at all the different materials we have never seen.
Absolutely.
We must be getting rewarded here.
Sweet. Well, we can't let anybody else take it.
And you still hear footsteps behind you.
Ooh,
And you hear
Let's,
voices mumbling.
Let's go over here and look. See if we can get a minute to figure this out. What do you think?
Yeah,
And he's pointing down the hall to like another doorway to go down.
All right, so you just want to walk to one of the doors?
That's what I'm thinking. What do you think there?
well, we gotta lose whoever's behind us right now, so
Yeah.
just try to get it out of the way.
All these openings, we can just ditch them.
All right. So this hallway has just lots of doorways along it. Again, this room is absolutely massive compared to where you just came from. So there are 5 archways along this hallway on your left-hand side. The railing overlooking the lower floor is on your right-hand side. And even at the end of this hallway, there's another opening all the way at the far end. So you have 6 options in front of you. Which door are you going to go for?
I'm just gonna go to like the third door on the left. Just
Third door on the left.
yeah.
Heard. Now, because this is a great hall, I'm going to progress your clock by 2 ticks because this is such a big room,
Buddy.
which sounds really cool. But because you did nothing to hide your movements after you heard these things in this big open space and you didn't describe that you were away from the opening, I'm going to add 1 more progress clock to your life. And it just has 4 spots. And it's titled Nightmare Fuel for Kids. Because unbeknownst to
this
you,
is totally on my side.
one child preparing for a sleepover at the museum just saw a pair of mummies walking on the upper balcony.
No one will believe him.
But everyone knows kids' imaginations run wild, right? So one of those 4 progress segments has been clicked.
Mummy making the hang loose symbol, buddy.
Righteous. So you go to the third door on the left, and this is shockingly small compared to the other space that you just came from. It's kind of off to the side. It has not like this odd shaped hallway, and there's almost no lights on in here. There's kind of like a faint glow from over some shelving or something. This room is unfinished. and of a similar stonework as the museum itself, but not maintained. Nothing like the grand hall that you just came from. You can see rows of shelves with rectangular objects constructed of a wooden material. You can't make out what's on the labels. There's not enough pictures to decide that writing, but some of the boxes do have these almost clear paintings on them, but most of them don't.
Can Almond make a loot check in here, see if he can find something of use, maybe to throw people off their track?
Do it. And I will also say, you again sense something powerful in this room.
Sweet. Loot check is a D12. That would be a mighty 3, which is...
There's trouble ahead.
Sweet.
So, as you're looking and kind of... How are you? Are you just looking around the room, looking at some of these boxes, or are you trying to do something to sense where the power is coming from? What specifically are you doing?
I think he's moving into the room, and he's kind of pawing at the boxes to see if that's, triggers anything in his, that he's getting close. So he's moving, just shuffling stuff around, trying not to get, bashed up again.
As you're shuffling stuff around, it's mostly these boxes, but there's a couple of loose items on the shelves and kind of shuffling them here and there. And then one of them you slide a little bit, and a metal cylinder is on the shelf. Something that you've never seen before. And it falls, hits the floor, cling, 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 and then the sound of just pressure being released erupts out of it. And you hear, "What? Who's there?" from the other side of the shelf. And you can see just through those boxes you shuffled, there's another one of those tables that has the shiny material it's made out of, and there is a form. Gotta act quick here. I'm gonna do something.
Just trying to get, figure out the sports score. Yeah.
All right, now say that in Egyptian for me.
I was gonna say, what language do you speak?
Yeah, yep. Hey, I could have been at Cambridge, you don't know. Yeah, I don't speak Egyptian, so
So I need you to roll a d4 for me, please.
Fair enough. That's a 3. One of my better rolls.
Ooh. All right. Hey, Ted, was that you? You playing a prank on me? No way. Actually, Dan, can you say, no way I'm not playing a prank on you?
No way I'm not playing it. Oh. No way I'm not playing a prank on you.
What was that? And a light starts to shine through the boxes.
Okay.
What are you doing, Amhouse? For this change of events.
Amhouse, he's gone rigid, and he's gonna just try to back up out of the room quietly. So we'll do a stealth roll on this one.
See how sneakily you can.
Yeah.
Back your way out of the situation.
We've been doing it for 3,000 years. Just get advantage.
So that's a 2.
All right. Not so hot. What about you, Amin? What are you doing as he's just Homer Simpsoning back into the bushes?
Actually, Amin's thought process was almost exactly the same. He literally just goes stiff and leans against the wall, like he's just a prop.
Okay.
Like he's been for thousands of years.
All right, so you're gonna try and just mummify yourself.
Yep.
In the moment. So let's get a sneak check from you as well.
Oh god, I don't think sneak's anything good for me either. Yep, this better be a big old 4, because that's all I can do. Nope, same 2.
All right,
buddy.
So a little bit of when you zigged, he zagged type of a situation. So, Amhouse, you start backing up out of the space, and you make it a couple feet, and that's when Amin is like panicking. And he just crosses his arms and leans, not realizing how far away the wall was. His depth perception since reawakening is not quite there yet. And instead of hitting the wall, he hits a bookshelf, which falls and hits another bookshelf. And Amen, you're going to take 1 point of degradation.
Fair enough.
And I'm going to say that Amhouse, I cannot say this right.
Amhouse.
Amhouse. You also get grazed on your arm, and it catches the bandages and rips some of them off. You take a point of degradation as well. Now that shelf is still standing between you and those people that were speaking, but it's still not a good situation.
All right. Mouse is going to get a little upset now, and he's going to... what's he going to do here? I'd like to push that bookshelf back over on those two guys, so...
That's exactly what I was thinking, too. Exactly what I was thinking. Can I help him?
All right.
So
yeah, if you guys help, I will let you both roll and take the higher of the two.
Is that bash? Call that bash.
Bash.
Okay, I got a D6 in bash.
Ooh. Well, I got a 1.
Can we add those together? I got a 3.
Well, hey,
I'm a little more
it
athletic.
means the 1 doesn't happen, so that's good.
Yeah.
So Amhouse goes to start pushing the bookshelf, and it doesn't really move at all. And so, Amen, you take like a running shoulder tackle at it, and you hit the bookshelf.
Watch this, bro!
And it tilts, and all those boxes come falling off. And they completely knock out this Ted guy. And bury another guard. But the guy who had been seated slides away in this like magical rolling chair and turns and sees you. Panic in his eyes.
Crap. Okay. Amen's gonna look at him and go, "This is a bad dream. You've worked too hard." And he's gonna try to convince him this is just like a hallucination.
All right, let's see some sway.
Yeah. That's a D6. Let's see. Nope. That's a 2.
And he is just, his hands are shaking, and he reaches down and he grabs this black box with this little pointy bit on it, and he just starts clicking it. And he's just saying gibberish into the radio, which you don't know is a radio, but into this black box.
Mm-hmm.
Amhouse is going to go ahead and take his ceremonial axe and whack that thing right out of his hands.
Do it.
So, my D8, it's a 2.
Good lord.
You swing and he recoils, and it knocks that little pointy bit off the top, but then it just starts this terrible static, just it's this terrible sound, and the guy just stands up, throws it across the floor, and runs out of the room just screaming. So at that failure, I am going to add 2 more ticks to your clock. The terrified cries of your enemies.
Amen looks at Amhouse. Cheese it, buddy.
The other people are silent. The room appears to be empty for the moment, but you still hear that screechy sound from whatever that black box was that he threw.
Yeah, I don't think I'm sticking around with this thing.
Yeah, I think Amhouse got to get out of here too. Or just
gonna run down the hall to like the next room, maybe. It's like one of those parties I threw in my parents' palace, and they showed up and super weird and told me I needed to bring the barge home. It was just.
And as you're talking about all that, you hear this like screaming, high pitched, undulating sound in the room with you.
Can Amen actually, as they're running out, can he use his awesome hockey stick to hit this thing across the museum?
Sure, you can totally like try to dribble it and then
just
smack it into the Great Hall.
I like it.
Yeah, blast it
Are you
across
trying to go
the
like
hall.
through or over the railing, just like
Yep.
across.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, totally his jam.
Let's
So
see what
that's
the
a
dice say.
D10. That's a D10. Let's see what we get. They've been so successful thus far. That's a 9,
Hey.
buddy.
Nice. All right, so you were able to dribble, or whatever you would call it in Egyptian times for whatever game this came from, this black box, and then you pick it up. Actually, I'll let you describe it. Is this like a Happy Gilmore style, chuck it across the hallway, or?
Yeah, he scoops, but it's such a hit, and the stick is, made for like street, like hockey or stone hockey, and so he scoops and hits at the same time, and it just manages to clear the rail and just goes sailing across, and actually I think like lands in another room across the way, still working.
And you can hear that sound, and when it lands on the other side, you hear this like splashing of water, and then the sound stops. And I'm actually going to remove, because your success was so high, I'm going to remove one of the terrified screams of your enemies, because that sound is no longer alerting them.
Did you see that, buddy? That was righteous. Look at that. That's skill. Years well spent.
You are everything I had heard about. That is certain.
And I'll ask you, Matt, would you like, because the roll was so good, to add an additional tick to Nightmare Fuel for kids? Or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought so. All right, so Nightmare Fuel for kids is now half filled.
Whoa, hey, excuse me, miss. Did you see that thing fly across the entire hall? The museum's haunted. I'm too scared. You have to call my mom. I have to go home.
Kid, we're still checking people in, so can you just find something simple to do for like 5 minutes while you wait? All right?
Well, I'll try. What's something simple I could do that just takes a couple minutes? Oh, I know. I can get on my phone and I can leave a rating or review for my favorite show on my podcast listening network. Or, you know what? I've been meaning to check out their Patreon. They always talk about it, and I've never actually gone to look at it. I bet there's some free stuff, and if it's good, maybe my mom will let me sign up for a subscription. Whoa, I for real life just saw Mummy. Oh man, this is gonna be a long night.
And you were able to scoot out to that hallway and scoot into the next room. And in this room, you step into the space. It's not as dimly lit as the last small room that you were in. This looks more like that first room you had gone into that had those sculptures without the arms and the big noses and stuff. Maybe even a little bit bigger than that. Fairly well lit. And you step in and you look around, and at first you, for a moment, think you're home. At least you recognize some of the features of home. There are artifacts scattered around this room made of a deep golden metal that you recognize as bronze. Everything in this room highlights the Bronze Age, from weapons to embellished pottery to jewelry and more. You see some little displays of Egyptian life and life in other times that you've never seen before, with unique, interesting clothing and items that don't look like the utensils that you once used in your time. Around the exterior of the room, kind of like little scenes or dioramas, if you will, but full-size mannequins. And you do sense something powerful in this space. And you also see in the middle this really odd-shaped chariot with a bright yellow seat with this long handle sticking up out of it. And then it has this flat part, and you can't figure out how someone would utilize this. But on the flat part, there's all of these odd-shaped bottles with handles and odd colored liquids in them, and a bunch of pieces of cloth, and it smells really weird, almost like some of the embalming fluids that you're familiar with.
Buddy. There's something of power in here, man. We need to find it, because We're kind of whiffing.
Yeah. I don't have it, but I used to have, that's for sure.
Nope. Apparently having 15 servants at your beck and call helps you do stuff better. Maybe my dad was right.
Oh, and good news. You guys also get one more progression tick in your clock for leaving the cold storage room that you were just in. Now have 5 out of 12.
Sweet. Dude, you wanna take a stab at this? I've done kind of poorly looking for cool stuff, but I am kind of stoked on this, like, med cart here.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of... These are like 3-dimensional pictures now. Everything we come across is even greater than the room we were in before. This is truly an astounding structure. But,
Damn, you're smart.
yeah, but M-House would like to go investigate this cart that's in the middle of the room and see if he can't figure out what its purpose is. Start picking stuff up, touching it, sniffing things.
All right.
Good.
So, is that a think roll?
Yep.
Wasting that thing.
Oh, it's a 2 on my 8. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
As you walk up to the cart, the smell just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and you see that there are, on all of these containers, there, for the first time you've seen in this entire place, besides the room that you came out of, hieroglyphs. There's pictures. And each of the pictures is surrounded by a different shape, a geometric shape, outlined in red. And the images inside are black. And they show people with their hands over their eyes. They show people laying flat on the ground. They show things being poured into each other and a puff of smoke above it. And there's even some that show someone like eating something with a red circle and a red line through it.
I'm also look over at Amen and say, this must be some sort of sorcerers or some chemist, alchemist. There's something here that mix these chemicals and create something special.
Huh.
But I don't know the formulas.
No.
And I didn't say what the bad stuff was yet.
I got off light.
So,
come on.
in order to get to this cart to see those things, you walk past a couple of those dioramas. And you walk past one of them. If I can please have you roll a d4 for me.
That's a 4. It's higher than the rolls I did with my 10 and 8, so it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull my hammy.
So you walk past some of these living pictures, as you called them, and you pass by one. And again, I described the Bronze Age. So what's one of the cultures you would have walked past? I'll let you describe the space a little bit, and then I'll describe how it responds to your presence.
I'm thinking Spartans.
All right, so you walk past some Spartans, and as you walk past this diorama, you hear giggling and laughing, and then you hear this. It starts out as a deep voice for like a split second, and then totally breaks into a whiny, nasally voice. This is Sparta! As they come to life, and you watch as 2 of them jump to life for real, step up, and poof, drop kick you in the back, causing you to knock down some things on this cart, and you take a point of degradation.
God. What the hell?
As
3
these
points.
youngins were hiding in plain sight. Bro, that was awesome. Yeah, it was. This is so cool to hide in the museum.
Amhouse is gonna stand up and look at these kids and be appalled at the complete lack of disrespect. And he's gonna look over and he's gonna see there is a large stuffed grizzly bear. And he's going to go ahead and cast that from his Book of the Doomed and bring that thing to life and send them after these children.
Do it. Do it. So you have to roll for the book.
All right. Book's a D10.
Come on.
It's a 3. Come on.
It kind of works.
So you go to read from the book, and, well, okay, so there would totally be a bear. That could be in a Sparta diorama.
Well, I was thinking one of the other ones.
Scene.
One of the other scenes. It's not.
Okay. So there's totally a bear in one of the other scenes. And I'll let you describe, knowing that a 3 is a success, but at a cost. So I'll give you the freedom. Do you want to describe the success and how it goes a little bit awry, or would you like me to do so?
Ooh, give it a shot here. Well, first of all, I realized that MS probably hasn't really seen a bear. I don't know how many bears are in Egypt and where he traveled, so I don't know how far north he made it. So he brings it to life, but
Beast of the gods.
he doesn't realize how scared bears are, and it just kind of runs around in panic state. Wasn't so much a big fierce creature like it was posed. Turns out this one's pretty terrified.
Bear in a china shop.
A little bit. And it starts to run around, and I will say that the cost to you is that for the next roll that you make, instead of it helping you with the D6, it is going to go against you with the D4.
Oh, God.
Wonderful.
So, Amen.
Yep.
What are you doing? As you see these dressed up, ornate warriors
Yep.
start giggling to each other, kick Amhouse down to the ground.
Yep.
Amhouse reads from this book. The bear across the hallway here starts to reanimate and panic and run around right in the midst of everything else, and you hear more giggling behind you.
Oh, God. Behind me? That totally throws my plan. Nope, he's gonna focus on front. His, my Pharaoh bro! Although he likes how these dudes talk. He reaches down to the cart and finds the one with the burny eyes on it, yanks the lid off, and throws it at the dude's face.
Nice. Let's do a shoot check.
Well, this can't go well.
You said these were children. So you're saying dude, but this is a child he's throwing chemicals in the face of.
I am a pharaoh of the 12th dynasty, and I will be respected. And your face will burn. That is a 1.
No, my good Pharaoh, your face will burn. So,
Likely. Very likely.
you go to rip the top off, but you were pretty fit in your time, and your physicality is coming back to you now the longer you're alive. And instead of ripping the little plastic cap off like most people would do, you've never handled a jar such as this. You go to rip off the cork, which is normally very well set in that jar, and instead you rip off the entire top and have the entire pressurized contents blast you in the face. You are disoriented, it burns, and you take 1 point of degradation.
Yeah. Oh, mommy! Mommy! My beautiful face!
All right, boys, tonight we dine in hell! And the one that was standing next to this armored person that kicked down Amhouse raises their spear, and those giggles from behind you. What would another scene be in a Bronze Age room, Matt?
Gosh, the only thing I could think of is Romans. So like a Roman legionnaire with a big, I can't think of what the big shields are called off the top of my head all of a sudden. Phalanx shield.
Well, I'll take that, and I will twist it a little bit, because I definitely went to Bronze Age being all weapons, but there's actually a ton of pottery from the Bronze Age that has slight embellishments on it. So let's go Roman, but let's go with Roman nobles, so that the girls and one of the theater guys can be in the long Roman tunics lounging across the way, and they come over with their vases and pretend to drink wine because these are all teenagers, having a blast hiding in a museum. Ah, the Spartans are upon us! Help us! Help us! As 3 more walk up. Because you rolled 4, and it's 4 plus 1.
Good lord.
So you got 5 around you. And a bear. What are you doing, Mouse?
I don't even know what Emma is. Yeah.
Crying on the ground, I think.
Might I say, this could be a good time to pray to the gods.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Alright. That's not a bad idea. Amhouse is going to kind of recall a story he heard about Amen riding into battle on an unconventional creature. So he's going to take a moment, think deeply about Amun-Ra, pray for his guidance as he looks at that bear and attempts to run up and jump on the bear. He's going to grab that bear, ride a circle around the room, knocking everyone down, and hopefully pick up his buddy and run out of the room on this bear.
Best party ever, bro.
Do it.
So what do I need to roll on that one?
A stunt is a D12, so praying to the gods is a D12.
D12, all right.
Come on, buddy.
7.
Okay. Woo!
Woo!
7 is great. A 5 plus is a success, and the higher you go, the more successful it is. So, what do you call out? What was the famous battle cry that you remember being told of Amen's great ride into battle?
Death is never an option. As he...
All right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask you, Amen, what did you really say?
Righteous!
It got misquoted. You were able to leap onto that bear and start to run around, and they panic and freak out as the light from the hallway, now that you've kind of rounded the middle exhibit that you were standing by, and the light from the Great Hall shines more brightly on your mummified face, and they are frozen in fear. And I'm going to give you your movie moment. You describe what happens next.
As we run through, basically, it'll be kind of... The bear is going to end up just kind of running into them and knocking them all back. So as it's running around, it's kind of back into slipping because of the polished floors. It doesn't have great traction in there. It's leaving just like scratchy claw marks.
Like a golden retriever in the kitchen.
And so it's knocking the kids down left and right. And then M-House is going to just drop his ceremonial axe and basically try to hook onto Amen and pull him up, like into him as they kind of make a turn and then go into the next, like out the door on the other side of this room. He's not going back the other way. He's trying to just keep making forward progress.
Absolutely. You knock all of them down. They are freaking out. They also realize they have totally overestimated their confidence level for this type of a stunt, and they just book it. But because these are proud teenagers, I'm not going to add to the terrified cries of your enemies because they ain't speaking about anything.
Anyone get it on their cell phones?
Ooh, okay. I am going to add 1 tick to the terrified cries of your enemies because one of them was trying to take a video, and they took the video just as you hopped on the bear and rode past them, grabbed Amen, and they fell back, and their phone clattered to the ground. But they do have a video. So you have 1 more tick in the terrified cries of your enemies. It's now 4 out of 6.
As Amhouse hooks Amen over the under the arm with the axe, he's like, "This is better than my last party, man. This is great. Get bent, hippies."
As the bear's rear end just slides out from underneath it and it like scampers, you think you're going to fall off for a second, and then it regains its footing and you lumber your way out of the Bronze Age room, which means you now have 6 out of your 12 segments of your Echoes in the Halls progress clock. And are you running or do you walk into the next room?
Oh.
Are you just like
That
panic
bear
going?
charged right into
We're
the
on a
next
full
room.
bear. Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure he's not going to try and rein it back so I can accurately describe the space that you run into.
Literally.
So you crash into the next room, and it is big. Not nearly as big as that huge great hall that you had seen before, but this is still a pretty big room, and it has kind of these offshoots that look almost like caves or tunnels on the sides. They're not quite separate rooms, but it almost looks like a forest in here. There's tree trunks like you've never seen from the floor all the way up to the ceiling. There's these dark green branches with these beautiful pointed evergreen needles growing on them. And you can see pristinely preserved animals from all species imaginable and unimaginable, more exotic and more plain than what you're used to seeing in your time in Egypt. And then you hear a calm voice in the background. Welcome to the Great Hall of Creatures as Sigourney Weaver loops. You see odd-shaped birds propped up on trees and bushes throughout the space. You see one opening that looks almost like a forested jungle. You see another opening that looks like rocky outcroppings. Further down, there's sandy areas as this bear is just running into this space and looping in this large oval. And the bear actually does slow down at one point because in the middle there's a fountain, a water fountain, splashing water. And there's a river that flows out either side of the room. And there's a wooden arched bridge that crosses the river, and the bear has to slow down to make it over the bridge. And it slows down and walks. And you see in front of you that there is a big area, almost a little elevated platform. And although many of these creatures seemed fake that you saw, some of these other creatures that weren't native to your lands, you now see some that you knew to be real. Crocodile, lions, the zebra of the plains. And then you hear a deep, low growl. One that tugs at your soul itself. And that's where we're going to end our session tonight.
Crud.
From the high of riding a grizzly bear and knocking down teenagers to the terrifying low of what is that sound?
Oh, man. Well, whoever set up this museum clearly put grizzly bears in the wrong location because they are nowhere in any of those areas of the world, so whoops.
Says the guy who put the grizzly bear in there.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I was like, bear, and I was like, no, not just a bear, a grizzly bear. And then I was like,
This is like one of those museums from like the 1800s that totally
The
make
North
no sense.
American Bronze Age.
Yeah.
I mean, there were teenagers in there. They probably moved a bunch of stuff around.
That's true.
They
We're
probably
one of
went
those teens.
into the Great
the-
Creature Hall
yeah,
to bring the grizzly bear in. Just,
That's it.
take some
Nice.
cool selfies with it.
Oh, God.
Oh. Well, that was crazy.
Yeah, that went as well as I expected.
Some stellar rolls. Just getting a 2 on a 10 is just like,
Oh, yeah.
wasted.
That's,
Wasted.
The Breathless game system is hard on me. It really is.
Well, and I try to throw as much of the decision making to you guys. So in the rooms that are supposed to have, they just describe guards in the game system, but I changed it to be like
Yep.
docents or the teenagers or what, just so it was different, not just
Yeah.
guards in each room.
Yeah.
But when I asked you guys to roll, you rolled 4 out of 4 on the D4. It's supposed to be that +1. So I was like, all right, well, now there's 5 teenagers in this room.
More bear food. I think we're
I do
going to
like
need
that
a breather.
Yeah, we definitely need to take that rest there. But I like that you included it as like a sleepover night, because that is very much what museums do and that sort of thing. So yeah,
Oh,
running
yeah,
across more
that's-
children rather than 5 guards in one room constantly.
Yeah. I think that was cool. And the teenagers totally didn't expect, and people doing curation and stuff. Very fun.
A bit of combat with them that wasn't really combat, but just guards shooting at you.
Oh, well, I was, if you hadn't have hooked me, I was just going to go full hockey brawl on it. So, good call.
Nice. All right. Well, I can't wait to see what you guys get up to next episode and what that sound is that you heard. But until next time.
We hope you can find yourself a pyramid.
And some papyrus.
And some followers.
So you can Pharaoh into your own NatFun. Or
Have a good
and
time.
Pharaoh into your own NatFun. Either way.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you're never going to believe this unless you saw it right here on my channel. So we legit just saw a freaking mummy. Like, seriously. And I know what you're thinking. They're not real, but they're so real. I totally saw one. It was so slay. And I really want to upload it to my channel, but my battery died. So this is just to let all of you know, hugs, hugs, kiss, kisses. We totally saw one and it's going to get posted later. You should totally check us out. I'll have it up in like a week, I swear. And if you can't wait a whole week for that footage, you could always check out NatFun on Patreon. Or just take a quick minute to tell a friend about the show. We are growing, and it's because of you telling other people about us, and we really appreciate it. Come back next week for the conclusion of Mummy Mayhem. Find out if Amen and Amhouse make it out of the museum alive, or if something stops them first. See you then.